Burj Khalifa and the Dubai fountains. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. Who keeps it operational? That's the Farnek team. Who do the maintenance of such a building. And the impressive fountain show, the Dubai fountains, every night goes off without a hitch because of the maintenance and the support of the Farnek workforce that we have keeping our UAE functional.
Hello everyone, I'm Neha and welcome to Green Room Talk with Trendz, your window into the people, stories and trends shaping the facility management industry. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest insights from the leaders driving change behind the scenes. Mr. Ryan D. Michel, Director of Safety and Health, known for building a culture of safety and leading calmly through critical moments across diverse work environment. Welcome, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Nia. Thanks for having me.
Let's begin with your journey. What inspired your move into safety and health in facility management?
Well, my journey begins a long time ago in a faraway land, right? I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. And my first job was way back in 1998, where I started as the assistant to the public health inspector. So my academic background and training is quite scientific and compliance-based. So I have a first degree in environmental science, several certifications in quality management, total facilities management, several ISO certifications, and a Master of Laws in international commercial law. But that first gig as the assistant to the public health inspector was an eye-opener for me. That is what really pushed me into the realm of pursuing health, public wellness, and safety as an interest, as a passion. So Trinidad is a big oil and gas producer. So my interest had always been towards that industry, right? I'd always seen myself joining in that sector in some way or form, right? As a youngster, my passion or my intention had always been to either be a medical doctor or a marine biologist, right? But as life unfolded, again, my first gig coming out of high school was with the City Corporation Public Health Department. And my exposure there was one instance in particular I will share. I accompanied, right, my manager at the time on an inspection, right? So what the public health inspector would do is visit several establishments, your hotels, your restaurants, events, etc., and do the health inspections, right? And on this one day, we visited one of my favorite restaurants on the high street, right? Somewhere that I eat very regularly. And the inspection took us to the kitchen in the back of house areas. And I was absolutely appalled at what we discovered there, right? A place that I relished the food and would take my friends and we would eat there almost daily sometimes. And when you expose that underbelly and you get to see exactly what are the conditions under which this food is being prepared, it was cause for concern, right? And my supervisor at the time was forced to shut the restaurant down, right, for unsafe and unsanitary conditions, right? And it sparked for me the realization that the exposure that people have to certain risks, sometimes they are completely unaware, right? And it takes someone else, whether it's a regulatory authority or somebody with an interest in their public health to act on their behalf, right? So that was one experience that really showed me the power of monitoring, surveillance, compliance, and a genuine interest in safety. My career developed from there. Again, I pursued a first degree in environmental science in Florida. And following that, I took up a role as the environmental coordinator. Quite junior role initially, and progressed through the department, eventually growing into the director of environmental health and safety at the university. And managing the university, this is in the facilities management and construction department, but managing a university of that size is essentially like managing a small city, right? The systems, the structures, there are power plants, sewage treatment plants, we have hospitals, the residence halls are akin to massive hotels, right? We have hundreds and hundreds of laboratories or chemical inventories, thousands of chemicals from radioactive materials. There is biomedical waste, all types of hazardous waste. And my specialty at that time was in hazardous waste management, right? So I really cut my teeth in the crux of health and safety, safeguarding not just the students and staff, no, there are thousands and thousands of students, but on a massive scale, right? With a broad scope and spectrum of services that we had to manage and maintain. So it gave me a fairly robust, a very thorough introduction and experience in facilities management.
Okay.
Yeah. Beyond that, I returned to my home country for several years, where I managed our family business, that is an industrial maintenance company. So it is facilities management on an industrial scale.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it lends yet a different perspective, a different angle on facilities management, where things are, I won't say more critical, but there is a much different liability and criticality in how you respond to the different scenarios. Yeah? And beyond that, I then transitioned here to the Middle East with my first stint in Saudi Arabia, where I was the health and safety manager at a massive university. Again, similar context, but on an even grander scale. All right, and then eventually moved to Dubai, where I now hold the title of Director of QHSEW at Farnek Services. So just to explain that handful of alphabet soup, right? That is quality, where I oversee the compliance and I guess monitoring of our systems and our documentation for the entire Farnek group. Health, safety, obviously that is self-explanatory, right? That's the crux of what we do on a daily basis.
Yes.
The E there is for service delivery excellence. We have a separate department that manages environment and sustainability. So I look after the compliance and customer service aspect of things to make sure that our customers, our clients are well taken care of, and there is an independent and unbiased, I would say, objective party looking after the interest of both client and our workforce, right? And the W is about the workforce. It's for the well-being. So I also see after the well-being of our staff to ensure that they have a safe space to work and well afforded and well taken care of here in the UAE. Right. So my journey, again, like I'm saying, spanned from over 25 years, a long time ago, in a faraway land, that has now brought me here to Dubai in the facilities management space, where I am having a grand time. I quite enjoy my role.
Wow, that was quite impressive, Mr. Ryan.
Thanks.
That was really impressive introduction, Mr. Ryan. I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
Moving forward to our next question. What are the most common hazards you deal with, and how do you stay ahead of them?
Interesting question. Because of the broad scope of Farnek Services, we service a number of different industries, right? So the hazards that we face in any particular industry are often unique to those environments, yeah? But there are obviously some common hazards that you would see trending across all sites and all locations. And the ones that I would say stand out most for me are either unsafe work practices or behavior-based lapses in compliance.
Okay.
Right? So for me, I do believe that very often when people think of health and safety, the first thought that comes to their mind is PPE. Are you wearing your hard hat? Do you have your high-vis vest, etc.? But from my perspective, by the time you get to your PPE, you're at your last resort, right? Your PPE is your last interface to protect you from harm. The first step for me is knowledge, information, and your behavior. So I tend to focus on behavior-based approaches to managing safety.
Okay.
So the common hazards that we see across most of our sites are lapses in judgment. There are pressures sometimes in the operations to complete certain tasks on time. We, as an industry, you have KPIs. We operate based on a contractual agreement between the service provider and the client, right? This is standard. And obviously we are expected to meet those KPIs in order to be paid. This is a business at the end of the day, right? But how we do that is important, right? So yes, compliance is critical. Compliance is key, but I believe a strong part of it is the how, right? The how is very closely related to the who, and those are the people. Those people must maintain certain behaviors that give me, as the Director for Health and Safety, an assurance that our organization is doing as we say we will within the regulatory requirements and as we are stipulated and contracted to do safely, right? So the underlying theme here for me is managing the behaviors to make sure that all my people can go home safely at the end of the day.
Of course.
I make it very clear to everyone that we are all here for the same purpose.
Yes.
Everyone has come from somewhere, or the majority of us have come from somewhere to work to take care of our families. Right?
Yes.
This is very common here in the UAE. We all do it.
Yes.
And the objective is to complete your task, do your duty to the best of your ability as is required so that you can get home to your family safely.
Yes.
So managing the behavior for me is my key focus. It is a common hazard that I see across many different applications. And there are different ways that we approach behavior-based safety management.
That's wonderful. I totally loved it. Moving forward to our next question. How do you ensure safety compliance across multiple sites?
This one is tricky. It comes with experience, practice, knowledge of your industry, communication with your teams. The use of technology is key for us. At Farnek, we are highly technological and focused on using technology efficiently, not just to deliver cost effectiveness or cost savings to our clients, but to make sure that we can do what we do as efficiently as possible. Right? I mean, we're all familiar with the advent of AI as being a proponent or a driver for improving efficiency across many different sectors. Yeah. So we have several tools that we use. One, a key tool in my arsenal is SafeTech, right? It's an important tool in my arsenal is SafeTech. SafeTech is our proprietary technology that we use. It's an incident reporting platform that is infused with AI technology, right? That allows us to predict incidents, predict certain patterns and trends that I can then use to monitor and manage behaviors across my multiple sites, right? It allows me to utilize a dashboard, right, that I can have full oversight and visibility of incidents, activities, trainings, audits, observations that occur on all my sites across the UAE. So in addition to that, we also use inspections, right? Some are announced, some are unannounced, because what you want to do is make sure that we are demonstrating the right behaviors all the time. Right? There's something that my father always said to me. You not only have to do the right thing, you also have to appear to do the right thing.
Of course.
And you should do the right thing even when no one is watching.
Of course.
Right? So developing that culture is important, that our workforce knows that we are an organization that operates safely. And we should be doing that at all times. Yet and still, it is important for us to visit the sites and touch base with the workforce where they can see management is involved, leadership is involved with their operations, and we get the feedback from them on the workshop floor, right? That is also very key and informs the decisions that we make as management and leaders to direct the organization as well. So those site-based audits and inspections and visits are also a critical part of how we manage across these sites.
Well, yeah, safety is very, very important. Even I believe everybody wants to be seen and everybody wants to feel safe, in any environment. I think if they feel seen and safe in any environment, they also give their 100%.
Absolutely. And it makes a difference, right? When you see your management comes down to the shop floor, makes eye contact with you and is interested in your well-being and interested in the conditions under which you work. Right, that also gives you the opportunity to share the feedback. Yeah?
Of course, everybody needs that.
Absolutely.
Emergencies demand fast and clear responses. Can you share a real incident and how you responded to it remotely?
Yes. So this is something that I look out for on a daily basis. Obviously, we look out for the alerts, but you never want that alert, that there is an emergency, something requiring a critical response, right? But it is also something that we train for, practice, and we are prepared for. So one of the basics, one of the first things that we do in mobilizing a project is to make sure that you have all your plans and your procedures ready, right? To respond to any worst case scenario that you may have in that particular sector, in that specific environment. So your plans are very often, you have generic plans and then you have site-specific plans. So in the unforeseen circumstance that there is an emergency, We have a notification procedure
Okay.
where the site teams will escalate and give the notification. Again, we have the mobile platform, SafeTech, that these notifications can be shared almost instantaneously with a number of different stakeholders. So we are all informed and we can make certain decisions to support the site teams. Then, depending on the nature of the incident, the escalation will be to the emergency authorities, emergency responders, the client, etc. So there have been a few instances, but one in particular where I was notified of one of our workers who entered a confined space and encountered some difficulty,
Okay.
right, and required an emergency rescue, right. Luckily, this is something that my team is thoroughly prepared for, is trained and practiced. The importance of doing emergency drills is absolutely crucial, because when your worst case scenario does happen, that's not the time to try to figure out what do I do,
Of course.
right? So even in your own homes, you should practice your emergency evacuation. This is why we do it,
Yes.
right? But in this case, we were notified that there is a situation and we require help, right? So the emergency escalation procedure was followed. The authorities were called. They responded within minutes and proceeded to effect the evacuation, right, and the rescue operation. I was able to coordinate with my site team. We have HSE officers on the ground, an HSE manager who also oversees certain divisions. They responded and was able to, as I say, effect the plan as it is prescribed and supported with the rescue effort. Yeah. So the coordination was done in real time. So the notification was received in real time, and obviously there are various forms of various platforms on which we manage the communication via SafeTech, mobile, messaging, but obviously the mobile call is most direct. Unfortunately, I was unable to be there. It was in Abu Dhabi at the time. I was in Dubai.
Okay.
So in making preparations for me to get to site, we managed that interaction remotely. Yeah. So these are not desirable circumstances.
Of course.
But as professionals, these are things that you prepare for. Right? So you must have your communication systems in place. You must have your response plans properly designed and communicated with your teams. Right? So that communication is also quite critical.
Of course.
It's one thing to have the document, right? This is how we'll do what we do. But if nobody knows and it isn't practiced, then you have a huge gap in your efficiency.
Of course.
Right? So we practice often as well. We do regular drills, periodic drills that are done on different scenarios. Yeah. So
I'm curious to know, how big is your team?
my HSE team is relatively small. Yeah, for the size of our organization. We have grown to encompass, I think we're just at about 10,000 workforce right now. And my team is just about 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot to do.
It's a lot to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot to do. So an important part of this is that we obviously can't be everywhere all at once.
Of course.
Right? We are not omniscient or omnipresent. Yeah. So what we have to depend on is relying on safety to be everybody's responsibility.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Each and every one of us. Yeah. So we are each responsible for our personal health and safety and that of our colleagues. So we have delegated the authority, accountability, and responsibility to the project teams to oversee the safety of their own workforce, of their own teams. Yeah? And the project managers have taken this challenge quite seriously, and I'm very, very proud of them. Have taken ownership for it and really drilled down into their staff and designated safety champions across the workforce. And just recently we had our HSE Champion Awards, where we acknowledge certain workforce from the blue-collar teams who have shown an interest and a passion for various aspects of health and safety. Right? There are those who have been recognized for being we call hazard hunters, who are actively seeking out hazards and risks. There are those who have mentorship capacity, right? Who work with their teams. There are supervisors, team leaders, managers who are very keen on developing their own junior staff. And these HSE champions, these safety champions, are key components because that means that everybody has responsibility. They each have safe tech available in their mobile. So anyone who sees a hazard or sees any issue, something, even if you're not sure about it, we prefer that you report it. Yeah. So if you see something, say something. Yeah. And those issues get reported
Voice
to me.
it out.
Absolutely. Say something. So somebody can have a look at it. And we can determine, is this an issue or not?
Right.
Yeah. But empowering others really expands the reach and the breadth and strength of our capacity to respond. So this is a good thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think everybody is responsible for their own safety.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they should be trained enough to take care of themselves in under any circumstances.
Correct.
Safety is everyone's responsibility, but not everyone sees it that way. How do you encourage safety ownership among site owners?
This is one of the biggest challenges that we have, right? As I mentioned, behavior-based. How do you motivate your staff? How do you get everybody to get it, right? Everybody doesn't get it. But I think it's a matter of making it personal, right? Because as we mentioned earlier, it's everyone's responsibility and everyone wants to get home safely at the end of the day. So how does this impact you? How does it impact your colleagues? So driving the personal interest or the personal stake is what we do, right? And I tend to try to appeal to that personal nature, that aspect of the connection with people. And it involves an honest style of leadership, where there are issues, let us know so we can fix it. I believe in a no blame culture. So if we've done something wrong, I prefer you speak up and say, Chief, I think I made a mistake. I need help to fix it. And we will sit and we will come up with whatever the solution is, whatever the resources are to take the necessary corrective action. I think that is the honest and responsible thing to do. And people tend to connect with that. People understand, right? They get it. If your approach is a high-handed one and is focused only on compliance, on ticking boxes, then I believe you give people the option to take shortcuts to circumvent, right?
Yes.
If they're only interested in meeting that KPI, then they will do only what is necessary to tick that box.
Yes.
Whereas if they truly believe that I need to take a certain action because it is the right thing to do, it might take longer, it might be a more difficult process, but if it is the right thing to do that ensures that safety is achieved for each and every one of us, then that is usually the option that they would take. But they have to be not necessarily convinced, but have to understand the motivation behind it.
Of
So
course.
it must come from within.
Of course. I totally agree. Mr. Ryan, let me tell you, I've attended many podcasts, I've done many podcasts, but this is going to be very, very special.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. This is my first.
Thank you. So you're managing one of the leading department for Farnek Services LLC, which is one of the biggest company. Any message do you want to give to the viewers?
Just by way of introduction, yes, I would acknowledge that Farnek is the premier facilities management service provider in the UAE, right? And we're very proud of that. At 10,000 workforce strong, we have a long history in the UAE, over 40 years. So we know what we're doing and we take our business seriously. There is something that I say to our workforce when we do inductions and the welcome briefings to the teams. There are people from all over the world, right? Millions of people who come to the UAE, whether they land in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or wherever. And their first impression matters. When you walk into Dubai airport and you see this fantastic, shiny, beautiful building, and everybody's jaws drop, they all look, wow, this is amazing. That first impression is managed and maintained by us. Yeah?
Health and safety.
Just health and safety, but our cleaners. So I make that connection with our workforce at a very, very early stage that what they do is critical to the reputation and the image of the UAE, right? Somebody has to keep the place clean. Somebody has to keep the place shiny. Somebody has to keep the lights on. And that is our team that does that. So we are actually essential, mission critical to the image, to the reputation, and to the functioning, proper, efficient functioning of the UAE. And it is something that we are very, very proud of.
Wow, I never thought it that way. Quite interesting.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yes, it is.
It strikes you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If we say, so take for example, the Burj Khalifa and the Dubai fountains. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world, right? Who keeps it operational? That's your Farnek team.
Yeah.
To do the maintenance of such a building. And the impressive fountain show, the Dubai fountains, every night goes off without a hitch because of the maintenance and the support of the Farnek team. So again, very, very proud of our teams and the workforce that we have keeping our UAE functional.
Today's guest reminded us that facility management is powered by people, resilient leaders who care, act fast, and make workplaces safer every day. Thanks for tuning into Green Room Talk with Trendz. Stay curious, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next episode.